All right, I am continuing to move forward now with my little landscape here. And what I've done is mixed up some gray paint using my orange and my warm blue. What I'm going to do is I have this building to paint now, and I'm going to paint the shadow of the building first before painting the color. Now, when we talk about this building, it is red and it has some stripes in the siding. I am going to opt to skip those stripes. I know that my painting isn't going to be any like better because I paint or don't paint the stripes, the stripy detail. It actually is a spot that I will probably be most likely to like mess up actually and have it look worse. So I'm gonna skip that. I'm not gonna paint those stripes. I'm trying to go around this plant here. Another plant in my foreground. So like I said, if you have details like that, you got to think about how you can like hint at them without painting them sometimes, because they can turn out kind of funky. So there's a little too much water there, so I'm just going to dry that off a little bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint the whole side of this building gray, because the whole side of this building is gray underneath the red. So I'm gonna paint the shadows first and then add my color. I can also paint this shadow that's underneath the overhang over here. What this allows me to do is to just think about shadows. So I'm kind of looking at some of the shadows on the black and white photo and knowing that I can paint those shadows first and they will like glow through any color that I put down on my project. So I just went a little too far over here. So I cleaned my paintbrush, I squeezed it dry, and I just like scooped that up a little bit. So a clean, dry paintbrush, like I can squeeze my paintbrush dry and watch what happens. I take paint off. So that is a useful thing when we're making a painting, because very often you'll put paint down and need to get it off again because you make a little bit of a mistake. It happens all the time. So I'm just painting shadows right now. So you might have shadows on a building like I do. You might have shadows someplace else, shadows on a tree, there are all kinds of places for shadows to be in a landscape painting. I am going to let this dry a bit again now before coming back and adding my red over the top, because I want that shadow to set up. If I paint the red over the top while that paint is wet, what happens is the gray will just mix in with the red and I just make a mess. So I'm gonna need to let it dry one more time before kind of coming back and painting over the top of it. So you can see I'm working my way from the back to the front. I am working my way through the biggest objects in my landscape to the smallest objects in my landscape, leaving my finishing details for the end because I can't paint around them as I go.